Fix what I couldn't see. Eating clean, playing my part. Still something breaking inside my heart. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Following every line they drew, still ended up in reverse. Five pills lined up on the sink, one telling me what to think. Said give it time, you'll be okay. But I kept drifting further away. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Gave them everything I had, still couldn't break that curse. Then one day I just let it go. Stopped chasing what I didn't know. Took one step, changed one thing, turned my back on everything. This is my why. North Dakota Carnivore changed my life. Kept it simple, stripped it down, turned it all the way around. Lost the weight, cleared my mind, left that old road far behind. What I found was something true, did it myself, and so can you.
And good Sunday morning to everybody. How you doing this morning? It's a wonderful day out, bright, sunny, a little breezy. I did my morning walk at like 7:30 this morning. Beautiful outside. It's in the 70s already. I used my weighted vest. Oh my goodness, was I sweating at the end of that one. It's like 18 minutes a mile. I actually have the stats here in just a moment. But, last night, 8 hours, 53 minutes. And you can see my resting heart rate has been dropping steadily. And my heart rate variability has been elevating. It's been going up like it should. It's really good, though. Sleep score was an 87, which is not bad. My readiness score is at 70, so it's pretty good. And there you go. I broke my fast here just a little bit ago at 9:16. I did a 36-hour fast. I just ended up breaking that after my walk. I put that in here twice. What the heck? Okay, this just talks about the walk. My peak rate heart rate was 134, just over 3.3 miles. Actually, not bad at all. I use like I said, you use that weighted weight vest. Makes a big difference. Gets a heart rate elevated a lot faster having that extra weight on. 59 minutes, 15 seconds, burned 654 calories, 3.35 miles, 6,665 steps. Average pace was 17 minutes, 40 seconds a mile. So it's just under 18 minutes a mile. Not bad. Average heart rate's 117. Gave me a 60 cardio load. I don't understand that. But that's not bad. Uh, this was my heart rate. Shows the different zones and how quickly I went into the green, or which is the moderate zone, compared to yesterday where it stayed blue for the first good bit there. I don't know. And then about 3/4 of the way through, you can see where it goes from the orange, the vigorous, into the moderate zone. I was going down a hill. Most of the walk was going slightly up, and then I got a big spot where I go downhill. I just walked my normal walk backwards. So, oofda. It's been a fun morning already. Wisecracker, good morning. And Wisecracker hit up both streams this morning and said hi. Awesome. Thank you very much. Brian. Same with Brian. Brian was in the vertical. And I did see that he came back in another one. Jeff, good morning. How you doing? Miss Laugh a Lot. How are you? It's good to see you here this morning. I caught your live yesterday for a little bit. Right before, not very long, but I did catch it for a little bit. I've never been notified. I've been subscribed to you for I don't know how long, and I've never gotten notifications that you were live, and I found yours yesterday. So I'm glad I got to see it. Maybe I'll get more notifications even with the notifications turned on. Hopefully I get more of them. Wisecracker. Lynn, good morning. How are you doing today? And Brian jumps back over on the regular stream. Everybody's saying good morning. Ooh. Yeah, it's just, I'm tired this morning now. My legs are worn out from that walk. Cindy, good morning. It's nice to see you here this morning. Uncle Willie, good morning. Good rainy overcast morning. Awesome. You guys need the rain where you're at, or were you like us this spring where we got way too much rain? Angie, good morning. How's your fast going this morning? You'd be, what, 40 hours into it or something like that? 44 hours? Or are you further into it than that? I can't remember. Yeah, everybody's chatting away. Wisecracker, yeah. The intro is amazing. It is. It's put together by John Together Strong. He does an amazing job on that. What's up, Fat? How you doing today, Fat Knicker? Oh, that's funny. Yeah, Miss Laplot's in the house. It's the first time I've seen her in one of my chats, so it is nice to see her in here. Wisecracker says I'm listening but won't see the chat for 10 minutes. Be right back. Awesome. Got a dead spot in the house, so it's hard to take his phone with him. Uncle Charlie, great intro. If anyone wants to really lose weight on carnivore diet, they should catch your show. Well, I appreciate that, Uncle Charlie. I gave Iron Lady Doc a shout out yesterday. I was watching her live before I started mine yesterday. She's got some amazing, down to earth, realistic information that she puts out. She's one of the few doctors who's been red pilled, who talks about the way it should be. And I really appreciate her. If you guys haven't checked out the Iron Doc lady, you should. She's got a really good common sense approach to doing stuff. Oh, absolutely. I like smaller channels. To me, they're more realistic than some of these really big ones. And I think you get better information from listening to other people's N01 experiments because you can learn more. You get people out there who are very dogmatic and they say, this is what you have to do. Well, I've changed what I've been doing several times in the almost 2 years I've been doing this now. So I know you have to find what works for you. And these small channels are talking about stuff like that, where some of the bigger ones, they don't. They have one way that they want things done, and that's what they see. And I don't like that. Oh. Uncle Charlie says Kip lost 60 pounds so far. So did my wife cousin by sticking a needle once a week. But that's why they have medicine, so you don't need the surgery. You can regain weight after surgery. And as soon as you stop taking that shot, you start to regain your weight also. The only people who are not regaining weight quickly after that is people who are working on their relationship with food as well as their peptide regimen that they're using. It's really hard because your body gets used to it. That's why I had great weight loss to begin with. I stopped it because I got nervous, but I've had a hard time losing it again after. Even eating the exact same way, my body doesn't want to lose it. So I've been changing things up. But yeah, you can have the surgery, and if you do it right, and I don't know how that is, you can keep it off. There's a lot of people on the chats, my chat, Carnivore Quest chat, Aaron's, Dr. Kiltz. There's a lot of people that have had the weight loss surgery who have regained their weight, are on the carnivore diet to lose it again, and are having great success. So the weight loss surgery, if people get it, they get it. But they should be put onto a diet where they can learn how to deal with food, the issues that it causes. And they need to be told the truth about carbohydrates, which they're not being told. They're being set up to regain all the weight. Same with the GLP-1s and weight loss drugs. They're not being taught what's causing their weight problems. They're just blaming red meat for it. And that's completely wrong. Get me off on a tangent. Thanks, Charlie. I appreciate that. Fasting again today. Break it at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Awesome, Jeff. How many hours are you fasted so far? And she says, fast is going strong. Yep, you're 44 hours. That's what I thought. Pretty sure it was 44 hours. Right? It's a good job. Jeff should be at 38 hours. Yeah, and that's because I waited for a while. 38 hours and 45 minutes is when I broke mine today. I like the 80F fast, and that's actually my goal for why I'm doing these 72-hour fast weekly, is to get into that mindset where I can go past that 36-hour mark easily. And I'm throwing these in on the weekends to help with that. Uncle Charlie says, you don't look no 59. Target prime rib looks older than you. If I grew my beard out, I would look a lot older. I do. You can see I haven't shaved the last couple of days, and there's a lot of gray in this. That makes a big difference. So I actually think Thomas looks pretty good for his age too. Good morning, Terry. How are you? It's nice to see you here. Saying hi to Brian. Angie says, thank you. You're going for her first, she's going for her first 120-hour fast. She's going for a 5-day fast this week. So, and she started a couple days before the 5-day challenge for this month, Monday through Friday, 5 days. I'm going to be doing the live 6:15. Anybody wants to join, they can. Angie's going to be cheering us on. She's going to be leading the way. Speaking of Target Prime Rib, hey, good morning. Just saying hello. I appreciate it, Thomas. You have a great day. Oh, hey, and remember, Carnivore Sunday used to be Sunday School. Carnivore Sunday with John Laspina and Juliet. It's going to be with Brian today. So Brian's going to be on there again this morning, or this afternoon, I should say. Everybody remember that, right? Uncle Charlie says small challenges are better than bigger ones. Yeah. I think they're more realistic and they keep it a little more real. Saying good morning to Thomas. With Laugh Lot, 120 hours. Yeah. Do you live or share? I do a live stream with Laugh Lot Monday through, well, when I'm doing my 72s, I do it Monday through Wednesday. So I start my fast Sunday night after my last meal. Monday night when I get home from work, I do a live 6:15 Central Time, and I do it Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. I'm going to do a 5-day fast this week. It's the first full week of the month, and that's where I like to do my longer fast. And I haven't done a long one since May. So I figured I was due for one. I'm going to do it here this Monday through Friday, and I am going to do the live stream. Okay, I am not sure what I'm going to do on Tuesday though, because Tuesday I just remembered I have an event, a client appreciation event that one of our contractors is doing. They do business with a bunch of people in town, and they have a client appreciation night at the local baseball team, or the farm league, minor league, whatever the heck they are, the Hot Tots. So we're playing our rivals from our state on Tuesday, and that's at 6:30. So I got to figure out how I'm going to do this so I can do a live on Tuesday at 6:30. I have to figure out something. All right. Yeah, sometimes my memory isn't that good, even on carnivore. Ron says just got back from buying meat and saw I was live. Well, I appreciate you stopping in, Ron. It's always a good time when you just get back from buying some delicious meat. Charlie saying hi. Everybody saying hi to Ron this morning. Uncle Willie says Kelly Hogan had a great interview yesterday about food addiction. I'm gonna have to check that one out. I like Kelly Hogan, and I didn't see that. She's got some good information. She's one of the longest carnivores out there, other than like Rick. But she's been doing it for a long time, and she's really had great success, great information. Ron says hello to everybody. Angie says she doesn't post videos. We'll be here in the chats with Lance and also Jerome finally fasting, and you'll share there. Yep. So anybody that's doing fasting, if you want to check out Finally Fasting at Finally Fasting on YouTube, his name is Jerome. Yesterday he just went over 1,000 days of his weight loss journey through fasting, and he's got a pretty good community and everything going on for fasting, and it's a good place. Carnivore Ron says he just finished a 48-hour fast. Congratulations, Ron. That is amazing. So nice to see that you finished that. How'd you feel after that? Everybody's just talking away, right? Congratulations, Ron. Terry says can't stay on today. It's nice out after a lot of thunderstorms last night. So taking mom out for a drive. Have a great day. You too, Terry. Have a great day. And we'll see you back here in the chats. Still doing alternate day fasting. Started at 8 last night. Awesome. And that's what I like doing, the alternate day fasting. And that's really where I feel amazing when I do that. Uncle Charlie just likes to insult me. I pay no mind to him. Yeah, Uncle Charlie's got a different way of dealing with stuff, and just like anything else, you take that stuff with a grain of salt. I don't know if he was trying to insult you or if he was just an offhand compliment. But me personally, I think for your age too, Thomas, you look pretty damn good. You know, being diabetic and everything that you've had going on in your life, I think you look actually really good. I got guys that I work with that are maybe a year older than me, and they look like they're 20 years older. So some people just don't age well. Yeah, I see Brian says you look fine, Thomas. Yep. Heavy people always look older when they don't care for themselves. You can walk 10 miles a day, but it's all about what goes in your mouth. Well, that's true. It is about what goes in your mouth, but other people have other issues. And just like Thomas is eating a carnivore diet, his insulin and his blood sugars are still playing havoc with him. My wife's do that sometimes too. There are some days she wakes up and her blood sugars are just out of whack for no reason. And we found many different things are causing your blood sugar to remain elevated. One of the things that was happening to my wife, she had a bunch of bad teeth that were abscessing. In order for her dentist to do the dental work, her A1C needed to be at a certain level and her blood sugars need to be under control. Until that happened, he wouldn't do the dental work. But we also found out that the abscesses raise your blood sugars. An infection inside the body will raise your blood sugars. That's weird. Taking certain medications raise your blood sugars. My wife takes a medication for anxiety. You can watch when she takes it in the morning, and you can see the 20-point rise in her blood sugar when she takes her medicine. That's all she'll do. She'll take her medicine, nothing else, with a glass of water, and you'll see a 20-point rise in her blood sugar. So it's not all about that every time. Amanda, good morning. It is great to see you here this morning. Yeah. Yes. And he can be. But, I don't think he's actually trying to be rude, and I hope not. I like to see the good in people, and I try to. Yeah. It can be pretty tough to get across what you're putting out there for some people. But Jeff is right. It's easy to be kind. It really is. It's easier to be kind. You get better results. All right, Charlie. Let's stop that. No more of this. If you can't say something nice about him, just stop. Thomas is doing what he has to do. right? Yeah, and we do notice that, what Uncle Charlie is saying. So you're good, Thomas. Right? Ron says I did my last 2-day fast. I did my fast 2-day. I drove 525 miles. Did not even have a snack. He was still alert all the way back. Awesome. You did a 2-day fast while driving? That is really good. I, I give you that. I know when my wife and I went to California last summer, we drove there. That was rough driving, and we did stop and eat, but well, we stopped, grabbed food, and we ate on the road. Yeah, Thomas, I see that now. He is. But eating on the road is that's one of the big triggers for my wife and I both. We for so many years, anytime we took a long drive, it was snack city all the time. We were always snacking. So it's pretty cool. You can control it. That is amazing that you're able to do that. So all right. Uncle Willie says, I am liking this 1 hour eating window. I can add or remove foods and get daily feedback from your body. That is true. You will know really quick. Yeah. Uncle Charlie says, can you do mountain climbers all day long? That only makes your muscles stronger. It doesn't make you lose weight. Right. And that's part of doing the mountain climbers is to gain muscle. I'm not doing my workouts to lose weight. I'm toning the muscles while I'm doing this. And some of the stuff like doing the push-ups, doing the crunches, the lower work, that all works your body and the muscles, and it'll help you build and tone up the muscle and lean you out a little bit more. So it replaces the fat that you're losing from your diet with a smaller layer of muscle, which helps you lose weight and lose inches. Yeah, Thomas has come a long way. I remember the first time I met Thomas, first time I saw him, it was in Dante Ferrigno's Zoom chat in the Healing Humanity site. That's been a while, huh, Thomas? With Dante on Sundays. It might have been in Dr. Kiltz Zoom calls too that I was seeing him. Because Thomas's name, actually, I went to school with a person who has that same name, spelled the same way. So at first I was like, no, that's not him. And it wasn't. It's somebody different. Coffee raises blood sugar, so does milk, heavy cream, and yogurt. I never had coffee raise my blood sugars. I had issues with oxalates in the coffee causing pain. Oh, dang. Guess what I forgot to do? Brian didn't remind me. Or maybe he did and I missed it. Let's see. But yes, milk does. Heavy cream can. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. When I make the carnivore ice cream for my wife, sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes my blood sugar actually goes down after I have the carnivore ice cream. I might have to try that tonight and show you again. It's amazing to have you in here with us, Amanda. And she said everyone's fighting their own battles. that we know nothing about, even if they have YouTube videos. Be a kind person, absolutely. You rock, Thomas. Keep on, and hope to see you live again soon. So do I. I hope to see him soon because I'd like to actually go on to his channel and talk about my story with him. Sorry, I'm still thirsty from my walk, and that's my first water from my walk yet. Then you just keep in mind, carnivore is a nourishing diet. Fasting is a tool, basically for cleanup, autophagy, and mitophagy after healing, and it's not for everyone. It depends upon the stage of healing that you are in. That is correct. For a lot of people, the higher the body fat, the longer you can fast. Once you start getting into a really lean amount of body fat, that's where you have to start being careful because it doesn't. You don't want to cut your body fat too low because you have to have so much body fat. But doing like an ADF or alternate day fasting and intermittent fasting is also really good, and it helps the body tremendously. It is so incredibly effortless to be kind and nice to others. That is true. Good morning or afternoon. It's still good morning for Amy, I think. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you in this morning. Everybody saying hello to Amy now. Well, absolutely, Thomas. And I feel like I've known you for a long time, as you've been in the chats where I've been for quite a while. Thomas says I do like OMAD, but I love my ADF. Yeah, and I felt the greatest on that, and I have had such a hard time getting back to an ADF, and that's what my work is. What's my goal is right now. Starting in September, I want to go back to the ADF. Well, actually, end of August. Uh, I forgot to change my calendar in my wall here. I have a bacon calendar on my wall. I have a bacon calendar. What carnivore does? Because bacon. Ooh, there you go. Right. You say potato. I see this needs more bacon. Not a bad one there. Yeah. So August 25th is my wedding anniversary. The 25th is 25 years for my wife and I. And I plan on taking her out to eat. So the last week of August, I'm going to start my ADF cycle. So I'll fast Monday, I'll eat Tuesday, I'll fast Wednesday, I'll eat Thursday, I'll fast Friday. And so basically, what it's going to be is I'll be eating on odd days and I'll be fasting on even days, which is just the opposite of what my schedule was back in uh, December and January. Ron says you got to respect other people's eating choices if you want them to respect your way of eating. Yeah, you do. Uh, Brian says I was going to start my fast yesterday, but Deanna made meatloaf and it broke me. Needless to say, I'm starting my fast today. Meatloaf will do that to a guy. It really will. I love a good meatloaf. I've had my wife make her meatloaf like she normally does, and I've thrown that on my smoker and I've smoked that. My goodness, does a smoked meatloaf taste good? It's absolutely delicious. Let's see. Talking to Amy. Uncle Charlie says, Lance, I started doing T25 on YouTube years ago. I did Insanity but will never happen again. No, I like, I don't know if I'll do insanity again. I might. I might do some of that because I actually really enjoyed insanity. But what I really liked doing was the asylum. That one was amazing. Except for that's a full hour workout right there. Deja, happy Sunday. Today is a rest day, so just taking it easy today. Yeah, today's my rest day. So no insane workout except for a 3.5 mile walk with a 23-pound weight vest on. And that was my rest day. Actually, yesterday was my rest day because I did the 3.5 mile walk without a weight vest. Miss Lapla says, first time I saw Thomas, I teared up. I was still pretty new at being diagnosed as diabetic, right? And his story of what he's been through as a diabetic is amazing. My I've paid attention to Thomas and his story and his uh, healing because my wife is also diabetic. She was diagnosed in 2000, 2001 as a type 2 diabetic with PCOS and something else. I can't remember what. There's three different things that went with it. She was told that she would never have another uh, child again. We were trying for one more. She was told she'd never have a child again unless she was put on two fertility drugs. And then that was iffy also. 4 years later, my son was born. So we proved him wrong. We weren't carnivore. We were just two young kids just being dumb. But she's gone through so much with that. Being put on metformin, she has a really bad reaction to it every time. It doesn't matter. She can take the regular stuff. She can take the time release stuff. She can't take it. And every time the doctors insist that she has to try it. It doesn't work. But 2 years ago, when she had her checkup, her A1C was 15. Her fasting glucose was over 500. This was right after I started my carnivore lifestyle. I was doing it for 30 days just to see what it would do for me. And now on the 22nd, it'll be 2 years. She started eliminating stuff that was making her blood sugar spike. She had her first CGM. Yeah, I'm tapping my arm because I'm wearing one. She had her first CGM, so she was able to see what was causing her blood sugar spikes. Actually, it took like 2 or 3 days, 4 days. I can't remember before she actually got a reading on her CGM. The Freestyle Libre CGM for diabetics, because it's different than the one that we're wearing now, only goes up to 400 for the blood sugars. And it took my wife days to get under 400. Once she got down under 400, she could see what was causing her blood sugars to spike, and she started cutting that stuff out. And it was like right after Thanksgiving, she'd actually ate pretty clean for a couple of weeks. And then Thanksgiving came, she had mashed potatoes, she had an apple pie, she had stuffing, and her blood sugars went over 400 again. And the next day she said, okay, she's going to start eating like me. And then she did. From no or Thanksgiving that Thursday until the first week of January, her blood sugars went down to averaging about 160, and her A1C was at 8.7 when she went and had it tested in January that year. So it does amazing things. And we had her C-peptide tested and fasting insulin. I can't remember what those numbers are, but she's making insulin herself, probably not as much as she should be still. But she's not eating a strict carnivore diet. She eats more still processed meats like lunch meats and cheeses and chicken than she does ground beef and steak. But Thomas has got he always interested me because he's diabetic and he's healing, and I try to follow people who are going through this because it is a struggle. Let's see. Uncle Charlie says I drink coffee because it's a plant and it kills my appetite for food. I stopped drinking coffee because it gave me pain in my wrist and my heel. I started drinking coffee again. That pain came back, so I gave up coffee again. And I believe today my little thing's on my phone here, and I'm using that for my stream. So give me just 1 second. I believe today is day 50. Yeah, 50 days coffee free. It's been 50 days now since I've had coffee. And I was actually thinking about having some coffee this weekend. On Friday night, I was thinking I've done really good for the last 49 days, 48 days. Maybe I'll try some coffee this weekend and see how I feel just having a cup of coffee on the weekend. And then Dan's video came out on Lion's Carnivore podcast talking about he had a mini stroke, a TIA, and he's associated with coffee. Whether it was coffee or not, I don't know for sure. But to me, it makes sense because it caused pain for me. So could it cause the inflammation and the stress needed for a TIA? I don't know. If you're drinking a pot and a half of coffee a day, it's possible. And it depends upon what coffee you're drinking. I used to drink the Death Wish coffees, 3 times the caffeine. Yeah, that'd definitely do it for you. Donna Ray, good morning. How are you doing today? It's nice to see you in here. Yeah, it might be a while, but we're good with that, Thomas. I motivate you to watch the replays when you go to bed at night. Well, thank you. Hopefully, my working out makes you tired so you can sleep well. I know I've been sleeping really good after all this. Amy's doing awesome. That's good to hear. I'm getting behind in this because I ramble a lot. Uncle Willie says I forgot to add salt to my water yesterday, and it was repulsive. Can't drink straight tap water anymore. I have a hard time drinking straight tap water. I get bottled water or go to the store and fill my 5-gallon jugs. That was one of the reasons why I was running behind this morning. I get home from my walk and I go to get some water and it's out, so I had to run to the store. Uncle Charlie said, you see a stick of butter a day, some in my coffee, some in my eggs and beef. Since I cut out butter, I lost so many inches. Wife makes fun of my skinny legs and stomach, right? And it's everybody has to find their spot in that. And lipotoxicity is something that is out there and you have to be aware of it. Lipotoxicity is where your body has all the fat that it can store. So when you eat fat, it can't store it. It gets basically recycled and you store it right back into it. And you don't lose weight. You don't do anything. Some people, like what Uncle Charlie's saying, he was eating a stick of butter a day along with his regular fatty meat. Cut the butter out and you start losing weight. Some people work better like that. Some people need that extra fat. It all depends upon your body, and that's where everybody has their own N of 1. Some people need more fat to get going. Women tend to need more fat because they have more hormones, and that's what it's made of, is the fat. You love my baking calendar. My wife, she was so happy when she found that and she gave it to me. Actually, pretty cool. Take the potato out of it. Just make that inside of eggs. That'd be great. Donna Ray says, I'm still on the bacon fast. Awesome. How's that going for you, Donna Ray? And he says, I know the refeed after 5 days is very important. I can't eat eggs. What do you suggest I break the fast besides bone broth? I've been experimenting with that here the last couple of fasts I've been breaking. I've been using the 80/20 ground beef. Um, I'll do the bone broth. I'll wait for a half an hour, 45 minutes after bone broth, and then I'll have a half a pound of ground beef, the 80/20 or the 73/27. I don't drain the fat, but after that, I wait for at least another hour to 2 hours if I'm going to eat. And I've been breaking mine at night now, so I don't need to eat. I just go again in the morning. The morning, I eat a smaller meal again, the other half pound of the ground beef. And then at lunchtime or a little bit later than that, I'll eat a regular meal. But that's what I've been doing. I was doing the bacon and eggs when I first started doing this because that's the only thing that kept me from having disaster pants where my stomach would turn and I'd have to run. But that hasn't been happening to me lately. So you do have to find what works best for you. It is best to have a couple of small meals. And the fatty meats aren't bad for you. You have to, if you look stuff up on AI for refeed after a diet, you have to tell them that you eat no plants, you only eat meats, and what's best. And a lot of times, the AI is going to tell you that that's actually meats are easier to digest, and that's a good way to do it. Nice bacon fast. Yes, it's a favorite. I actually tried doing an actual bacon fast. I don't know how much I can make. Uncle Charlie says I drain the oil from my bacon because bacon has enough fat for me. Butter keeps my pants on. Yeah, you're just the opposite of Butter Bob then, right? Good morning, Aaron. How did your daughter's game go yesterday? Aaron says doing some OT. I never get your notifications. Yeah, and I was just talking with Miss Laughlot earlier. I've been subscribed to her channel for a while, and yesterday I happened to find her live. And I'm subscribed, the bell's turned on. I never get notifications from her. You're just on time, Aaron. Never. Thank you. I appreciate that. We've been together for 32 years now. Pretty amazing. Yeah, butter is dairy, and if you ask me, I used to love cheese. It put fat on me. Can't have it. That's true. And for a lot of people, that's exactly what it does. Dairy has a purpose, and that's to make whatever is eating it fat. It really is. And some of the raw cheeses and raw milks, I do much better on. Carnivore, why explain? Hey, good morning. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. All just dropping in. Appreciate that, Dean. Brian says, hey, Dean. Yep. Cindy says, true. If your body fat is low, fasting may not be good for you. But I'm talking about those of us whose hormones or whatnots are still not up to par, and that's true. When you got to have the fat for your hormones. That's one of the things that's really important. And that's why even when fasting, and Dr. Jason Fung, Ben Bickman, Dr. Boz, Jerome from Finally Fasting, they'll all say that if having a couple pads of butter helps you get through a fast, butter's fat. If that helps you get through it so that you get what you need from that, that's good. Continue on. It doesn't break your fast. It helps you stay on it. I don't. I look at stuff for breaking a fast. If it tanks your ketones, you're breaking your fast. As long as your ketones are staying steady and you have like 2 tablespoons of butter and your ketones don't bottom out, you're good. That's not going to hurt you. I still believe your body's doing the autophagy. You're just giving it a little extra what it needs to continue with what it's doing. But women do need a lot more fat to keep those hormones up where they need to be. Uncle Charlie says every time I go to Costco, they're giving me free samples of Kerrygold cheese. Right? Um, I look at it, then I look at all the heavyweights in the store, and I see what it is they're carrying, and it really amazes me. And it does. We just had our state fair here a week ago. It ended, and I only went 3 days. What was it? Saturday, Sunday, and Saturday. Yeah, 3 days. It's amazing what people look like now. I still have that mental block that I'm not 350 pounds at times. Walking around the state fair, just walking around, seeing all the people, and I look down on myself, and I'm like, I don't look like them anymore. It's amazing how many people out there are so unhealthy and they don't even know it. It's crazy. And Cindy says, I, for one, am still overweight, but when I track my food, I very seldom would be above 1,000 calories. I can fast very easily since I don't feel hunger. I am far from alone, especially we women, yes. And being under the 1,000 calorie all the time isn't always a good thing, Cindy, either. Sometimes your body actually needs more to be able to heal right. And you probably know this too, and I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying sometimes you do have to have a lot more. Like Kelly Hogan, she ended up having to eat a lot more calories when she started doing this. And she had issues where she was under eating. Now she eats 3,000 calories a day of meat, but she's in a different place now too. So it all makes a difference. As you lose weight, you do have to find what's working for you, and it will change. Wisecracker, I'm back. Gig, my CGM was maxed out when I started. Yeah. Which one are you using, Wisecracker? Are you using the Freestyle or are you using Dexcom? Dean says, my daughter at 42 years old tried like crazy to get pregnant for several years. Then by using Dr. Kiltz program, she now has a toddler. That's amazing. And it does work. It really does. You get rid of that inflammation. You get the proper fat into the body for the hormones, and it works. Yeah, it's awesome. Everybody loves that. It is amazing. All right, send you back to my workout. Sometimes I spend too much time typing. I'll be listening. Thank you. Appreciate it. Way to go on 50 days. What did I miss? 50 days. Oh, coffee. Me. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I'm that far behind again. 50 days coffee free. I can never drink iced coffee. It just does not work for me. Thomas is getting some groceries. Awesome. Aaron still drinks a pot a day. I was drinking a pot to a pot and a half a day. And when we switched coffees, it was like a month and a half into it that I started getting the pain in my wrist. And it took me about another week to realize what it was. And then I said, okay, I'm done drinking it. Uncle Willie says I'm done with coffee. I tried adding it back after quitting for several months. No bueno, no good. Yep. What? Dan had a stroke? Dan had a TIA. I think that's what he said. He was diagnosed with TIA. He had a mini stroke, and his video that he put out Friday night goes in on it, and he thinks it's because of coffee. Yeah, yeah. Go watch it. Amanda said I personally need to eat at least half a stick of butter a day. I thrive eating a full stick, but I'm trying to lose weight, trying to fix my hormones, right? And the butter fat from real butter is it helps. Thomas is outside on his phone. Awesome. But everyone's different. Everyone's different. Everyone needs are different. That's why we should all just do us. Correct. Ron says I'm about 50 years without coffee. It's easy. I don't like the taste. Please don't cancel me. No, we would never cancel you, Ron. But 50 years without coffee, that's good. That's a long time. Angie says I can do 80-20 ground beef. Thanks. I can't eat at night either. Funny, I used to have a full stomach. Now I need to have close to empty to sleep. It's your body does change, and if you can get it that way so that you eat early and your ketones and everything are much better in the morning than at night when you go to bed, it's makes a big difference. But yeah, you can have 80-20 ground beef. You could have chicken, you could have pork. I've been eating a ground beef, ground pork mixture. So it's like a 50-50 blend. And that's actually really good. But that's only 60% of the calories from fat. So it makes a difference. Oh, they're lost in the semis. Sorry to hear that, but it's all about learning. Yeah, Ron's funny. Jeff says I searched for a continuous insulin monitor. University of Cincinnati is developing one. This is good news. Yeah, if you track your insulin instead of your blood sugars, what's that going to do for you? It's going to tell you more of how your body is doing. We've been tracking the wrong thing for many years. Oh, thanks, Angie. You and your hubby are celebrating 23 years. Celebrated 23 years on July 26th. Awesome. You've known each other for 30 plus years since teenagers. Yeah. My wife and I met when we were in she was her early 20s. I was my mid 20s. She's a little younger than me, but she's cute. Uncle Willie said I've been adding half a stick of butter to my meal. I did a day without it and was hungry at bedtime. The fat keeps you satiated. It's not the protein that makes you feel full, it's the fat. Aaron said, I wish I could give up coffee, but I would drink more diet soda if I gave up coffee. And then see, that's something I never really did a whole lot of drinking with was sodas. I've never really done those. They just don't agree with me. And I'm good with that. I'm good without coffee. I have an Element lemonade iced tea, maybe one or two a week, and that has a little bit of caffeine, but the caffeine doesn't really bother me. Putting bacon in the oven, preparing the next recipe. Awesome. Can't wait to see that one. It was Dexcom, and you think the max was 500. Yeah. And the Stello, or not Stello, Freestyle, their max is 400. And it's crazy that people can be maxed on them. And the doctors are still telling them that they can eat all this carbohydrates just in moderation. That's really not good. Carver explained. I reduced my coffee to about 2 to 3 cups a day. I was used to sipping on coffee pretty much throughout the day. I figure it's probably too much. And when I started my carnivore experiment for 30 days, was one of the things I noticed right away was my pain level, my level of pain I was in every day dramatically reduced. It was crazy how quick it went away. And in October, I had just a pain in my wrist and a pain in my left heel. I was listening to a video by Laura Spath where she was talking about what different drinks did, coffees, teas, um, the pops, everything, And she talked about alcohol real quick on it, saying that, if you're doing carnivore for healing, just know that while you're drinking alcohol, your liver will spend 100% of its time eliminating the alcohol, and it will not be doing its regular functions to heal your body until your alcohol is gone. So if you're healing, it's going to take longer if you're drinking. That got me to give up alcohol. And I said, well, if I'm going to give up alcohol, I might as well give up coffee as well and just see what happens. And it worked. Got rid of my pain. Brian says, I just got a ton of friend requests on Facebook, right? It's amazing what happens. Thomas said, I think some, if not all, but many are so afraid of being dogmatic, they become just that. Right. And I think you're right, Thomas. A lot of people have. I know when I first started and I was getting pain free, I was like, everybody should eat this way. There should be no other way to do it. Just straight meat. Give up everything. And it was hard. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years. And it takes time. The chat is not working for me. Wait, the chat is not working at all for me. I'm on the phone, unfortunately. I'm only able to see everybody else's response on the screen in the chat. There's nothing but mine. It's because you're on the phone version and not the other version. So there's 2 versions of my channel out there right now. I do both the vertical and the horizontal view. And you're on the phone view. At the end of the description, yours has a little phone on it. And the other one doesn't. That's for everybody else's, I believe, for the majority of the people. Brian says pot made me sick and I still crave it and haven't touched it in 28 years. I used to drink a lot of Mountain Dew. Been drinking plain and sparkling water from Liquid Death. I love it. My treat, the black can gold label Liquid Death sparkling water. I love that one. That is my favorite sparkling water. I like it more than Topo Chico, more than San Pellegrino. There's a couple other sparkling waters I've had, but that liquid, it's just so, it's light and fizzy. I really like that one. I mix my element in with it, the flavored elements. I'll mix that in there. You got to be careful because it will foam up and make a big mess. But you have to mix it slowly. But that is my favorite, black and gold labeled sparkling water Liquid Death. For years, I looked at those and I'm like, why would anybody drink anything that says that? And now I drink it. If people start tracking insulin, there will be less heart problems, heart issues. I wish more doctors would get with the program. In order to do that, the pharmaceutical industry would have to write that into the lesson plan for what the doctors are being trained. And that's most of the issue is the training comes from the pharmaceutical companies. They're the ones that fund it. They're the ones that are paying for it. And Ron says, I drink iced tea every other day, sometimes 2 days in a row, then water other days, and sometimes flavored hydration drink. Yeah. And as long as you're doing good with it, it's like I don't have a problem drinking the element iced tea. Once in a while, maybe once every other week, I'll have some of my wife's unsweet tea. Just regular unsweet tea. I don't drink that much. Never been into teas. We're building our private Facebook for carnivores. Let me know if you want to join. Awesome. Well, I don't do a whole lot on Facebook. I'm actually streaming on Facebook tonight, right now. And I don't do a whole lot on Facebook. I just figured I'd try it, see if anything happened, and nothing yet. Nothing at all. So I've I stopped doing stuff on Facebook around 2019, and then during that that time frame of 2020, with all that stuff going on, I stopped doing anything with Facebook really. I do a little bit now, but not a whole lot. Could you imagine if insurance companies covered CGMs and heart scans, how much healthier we would be, right? Or CKMs, or continuous insulin monitors. Brian says, thank you for everything you do. I've got to run. You've got a big day coming up. You've got to meet John and Juliet. Have a wonderful day. Again, everybody. And in about an hour, Brian's going to be on Carnivore Sunday with John and Juliet. Check it out. Yeah, this can be a great day, and it's been over an hour that we've been on here. Awesome. Donna Ray's back. She was walking in listening. And that's what I was doing this morning. I was listening to Carnivore Uncut, John, this morning, giving his update. That's how I started my morning walk out today, was listening to him. So tonight, around 6 o'clock, I'm going to be starting my fast again. Tomorrow, Monday, at 6:15, I'll be doing my accountability live stream. Anybody wants to join in on that, feel free to. It's going to be a 5-day fast this week. And I got to find a time to do my Tuesday live, because Tuesday I'm going to be at a baseball game at 6:30, so I won't be able to do that at 6:15. Maybe I'll take off early and do it just a little bit earlier before we head out to the ballpark. Maybe my wife and I can get there early and I can do it at the ballpark before everything starts. That'd be kind of fun too. All right. Well, it's that time. Oh, my Lanta. Juliet's sardine recipe video was hysterical. I'm going to have to watch that. Amanda says, I used to drink a 12-pack plus a day of Pepsi, Coke, or Dr. Pepper. For 8 years old until 2020. Haven't had one since. I sometimes still crave and get the taste in my mouth out of nowhere. Right? That's an addiction, and those are really hard to get rid of. Yeah, soda almost killed me. It's one of the hardest things for people to stop. And Uncle Charlie says I had to stop electrolytes. It was too sweet, which kept the weight on. Yeah, don't put the weight on. It didn't sweat like a athlete, then only do Gatorade commercial for $1 million. Right? Yeah. So with all that, again, tomorrow I'm going to be doing my fasting. We'll be doing this live again. I'll be back next weekend, Saturday, Sunday at 10 a.m. You all have a great day. Check out the Carnivore Sunday with John Lespina and Juliet Edens, talking with Brian. And there's probably a couple more coming up here. I didn't see that Kelly was going to be on, but he's usually on at 3 o'clock. And then Amy's on at 6. There's no Carnivore Quest today that I know of. So from there, it's all just us. You all have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Fix what I couldn't see. Eating clean, playing my part. Still something breaking inside my heart. I was doing everything right and everything it time, you'll be okay. But I kept drifting further away. I was doing everything right, and everything kept getting worse. Gave them everything I had, still couldn't break that curse. Then one day I just let it go, stopped chasing what I didn't know. Took one step, changed one thing, turned my back on everything. On everything. Oh. I'm Lance, yeah, this is my why. North Dakota Carnivore changed my life. Kept it simple, stripped it down, turned it all the way around. Lost the weight, cleared my mind, left that old road far behind. What I found was something true, did it myself, and so can you.